Welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, let's dive into this. When we think about building serious financial security, we usually jump straight to imagining massive salaries, sudden windfalls, or, crazy complex investment strategies. There's this deeply ingrained mental block that tells us if we aren't starting with thousands of dollars, well, there's just no point in even trying. But what we're looking at today completely flips that assumption on its head. We're talking about the compounding power of a single dollar a day. It's kind of crazy how easily we ignore pocket change, right? But mathematically and historically, that tiny, seemingly insignificant amount is actually the ultimate foundation for long-term wealth. We're going to unpack the behavioral economics, the actual mechanics of market growth, and the quiet, absolute power of extreme patience.
Section 1. The $1 Secret. I know, you might be thinking, I barely have enough left over at the end of the month. How am I supposed to start investing?
Look, most of us completely dismiss a single dollar. We check our monthly disposable income, factor in rent, groceries, the electric bill, and we feel this deep skepticism. We think, I just don't have the cash to play the wealth-building game. But behavioral economics actually shows us that human beings are notoriously bad at visualizing how really small numbers accumulate over long stretches of time. We literally just write off the spare change. But the strategy of $1 a day investing completely flips that script. It proves that generating wealth isn't some VIP club gate-kept by your starting capital. It's actually dictated by the systems you build. By taking an amount so small that your brain literally registers it as meaningless and systematically putting it to work, you're building a rock-solid habit. You are fundamentally retraining your financial psychology.
To really anchor this concept, let's map out the math and see how quickly the invisible becomes tangible. A single dollar a day equals about $30 a month, or $365 a year. Think about how easily that specific amount of cash just slips through our fingers, completely unnoticed. I mean, that's a fraction of a daily coffee habit, right? Or the cost of a few forgotten digital subscriptions that just auto-renew every single month. It's money that is already leaving your wallet. The big aha moment here isn't about extreme frugality. It's about reclaiming lost capital. Even these super micro amounts, when you capture them and invest them relentlessly without fail, establish a massive baseline of financial momentum. But to understand how that baseline actually transforms into true wealth, we got to look at the engine under the hood.
Section 2. The magic of compounding. This is where we move from just saving pennies to experiencing actual exponential growth.
Compounding is when your money starts earning returns, and then those returns also start earning returns. It is super easy to just dismiss this as basic math, but honestly, it's closer to a force of physics. It's absolute mathematical certainty playing out on an exponential curve. Think of it like this. You are essentially hiring your own money to go to work for you, and the wages that your money earns are then immediately hired to do the exact same thing. Over time, your money begins to grow completely on its own, independent of your daily 9-to-5 grind. The whole idea here is that wealth shouldn't just be a product of your active effort. Eventually, it absolutely must become a product of its own momentum.
So when you consistently deploy capital into broad equity markets, historical data points to an average annual return somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 to 10% over long horizons. But, and this is a big but, there is a massive psychological hurdle here. The brutal reality of exponential growth is that the very beginning of the curve is incredibly flat. For the first few years, your 7% return on a couple $100 is going to feel agonizingly slow. It's what we call the valley of disappointment. The growth is basically invisible to the naked eye. And honestly, this is exactly where the vast majority of people just throw in the towel. But the math guarantees that after 5, 10, or 20 years of absorbing that historical average, the compounding curve suddenly hits an inflection point. It turns sharply upward and accelerates like crazy.
And this brilliantly illustrates what happens over a 10-year horizon. If you systematically put away $1 every single day, your total out-of-pocket cash invested is exactly $3,650. But when we factor in long-term market growth and that compounding engine we just talked about, the true value of that account pushes past $6,000, maybe even $8,000, depending on what the broader economy is doing. And remember, that is just the beginning of the upward bend. If you bump that foundational habit up to just $5 a day, literally the cost of a fast food meal, the acceleration phase gets way more dramatic. The gap between the raw cash you put in and your actual net worth just explodes exponentially.
Now, you've probably heard this before, but the tension between time in the market and timing the market is arguably the single most crucial lesson for any investor. We constantly see these highly sophisticated institutional traders, guys using supercomputers and complex algorithms, completely fail to time the market's daily highs and lows. It's a loser's game for sure. As an everyday investor, trying to perfectly predict a market dip is completely unnecessary. Your ultimate unfair advantage against Wall Street infinite patience. You don't need a fancy predictive algorithm. You just need to get your capital into the system and let the macroeconomic timeline do all the heavy lifting for you.
Section 3. Investing in real economies. Let's take all this theoretical math and ground it in reality for a second.
Where exactly does a daily dollar go to capture that 7 to 10% historical return? I'll tell you where it doesn't go. It doesn't go into picking random, obscure individual stocks. In the US, the vast majority of successful long-term investors use simple, incredibly stable vehicles like broad index funds, ETFs, and specifically S&P 500 funds. But we really need to understand what these vehicles actually are. When you buy into an S&P 500 index fund, you aren't just buying abstract financial jargon, you are literally buying a fractional share of human progress. You're scooping up a tiny slice of corporate innovation, tech advancements, and massive global consumer demand.
There is a massive, profound distinction between betting and investing. Look, instead of betting on one stock, you are investing in the overall growth of the economy. Betting is fundamentally a zero-sum speculative game. It's that casino mentality where you're just crossing your fingers and hoping one specific company goes to the moon. But investing in broad index funds means that instead of risking it all on a single isolated company, you're structurally tying your net worth to the overall upward trend of the economy. By spreading your daily capital across hundreds of the absolute strongest, most established companies in the world, you secure your money against the collective productivity of society. It's the ultimate shift from gambling to actual ownership of cash-flowing assets.
Section 4. Mistakes beginners must avoid. Because it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right? There are definite traps that derail a lot of new investors.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how deeply emotional these common pitfalls actually are. I mean, we live in an era of pure dopamine-driven financial entertainment. We are constantly bombarded with crazy stories of overnight crypto millionaires or meme stock explosions. Because of all that noise, beginners will often just stop their $1 habit after a few weeks because that flat part of the compounding curve we talked about, it doesn't give them that immediate dopamine hit. They lose patience, they abandon the boring strategy, and they pivot right back to risky, high-intensity speculation. And honestly, that almost always results in a permanent loss of their hard-earned money. The hard, kind of unsexy truth that separates successful investors from gamblers is accepting that true wealth generation is inherently boring. It's all about slow, steady, relentless execution over decades.
Section 5. Consistency always beats intensity. Let's bring this all back to the core, empowering truth of this whole strategy. Think of the classic fable of the tortoise and the hare. Intensity, like waiting around until you magically have a massive lump sum of cash to invest all at once, almost always leads to paralysis or total burnout. You wait for the perfect time or the perfect amount, and what happens? You end up doing absolutely nothing. Consistency, on the other hand, totally removes all that emotional anxiety from the equation. You simply repeat small investments daily or weekly, completely ignoring whatever the news cycle is panicking about today. You literally do not need a massive burst of cash to start building your foundation. The discipline of the routine itself is vastly more powerful than the size of your initial deposit.
The modern financial world really wants us to believe that wealth is this velvet-roped VIP section, only accessible to people who already have money. But the reality? That door is propped wide open by basic, unglamorous, daily discipline. You do not need to be rich to start investing, but you do need to start investing to become rich. That completely summarizes the mechanics of the wealthy. They don't just rely on their daily labor. They rely on the exact principle of letting time do the heavy lifting for them. The barrier to entry isn't having a certain net worth. The only actual barrier is making the psychological decision to just begin.
So it all boils down to a single, direct question. Will your future self thank you for $1 unconsciously spent today or $1 intentionally planted for tomorrow? The math is proven. The historical data is completely clear, and those economic engines are just waiting for you to turn the key. The choice to step out of the endless cycle of consumerism, to build a lifelong habit, and to let compound interest do its quiet, heavy lifting, well, that's entirely up to you. Keep learning, keep questioning, and put time on your side.